Holy crap, there have been so many new base designs released on YouTube, and I want to go over all of them so you guys know which ones you can really trust, which ones you should build, and which ones that are just complete crap. So today we have so many. I think there's like 7 or 8 base designs. We're going to go over all of them, rate them, review them, and I'm just going to let you guys know how they are. So the first one, the best 3x3 base design. So I found this one on YouTube. It's not that popular, but I did see it and I was like, let's make a review on this one. So first, right off the bat, you can see it's very simple. It looks like this player is not that experienced at making bases, and I don't know, guys, it just doesn't look that good. And if I saw this on an official server, I would definitely try to rate it. So the only thing intimidating about this are the heavy turrets, which most players won't even be able to get. And if you have unlocked heavy turrets, your base isn't going to look like this. It's going to be much bigger. So it's a very simple design. It's 3x3. They have spikes on the outside, which is showing how these aren't really experienced players who built this. On a good note though, they do have dino hatch frames on top, which is giving the turrets good access view all the way around the base. The inside, it's ordinary. It's pretty standard, like nothing out of the ordinary or nothing amazing, you know. But yeah, overall this base, it's not that good, and I would not recommend building this on PvP because the defenses aren't that good. So I'm gonna rate it a 3.2 out of 10. So let's move on to the next one. This one is Arc Extinction base design. I know it looks like a super newbie design, and I just wanted to review it because it looks so funny. So pretty much this player, he or she does not look too experienced at the game. So as you can see, they're just making like a really big shell for a base here, and I'm not really sure where they're going with it. I mean, obviously this big of a base is only used when you have a huge tribe. So maybe this is for huge tribes or something like this. It is on Extinction. That's what they said, but I don't know why this would be Extinction exclusive unless they have a certain like base location that they want on Extinction. So it looks like they're just making a lot of compartments inside of a large shell. Therefore, this base, guys, don't build it. It's not that good. Looking right now, they don't really know what they're doing. It looks like a really standard base, and that's why this is one of the worst base designs I think on this entire list. Like, this is probably the worst. That's the base. This was the end of the video. No defenses. Oh god, probably one of the worst base designs I've ever seen, not gonna lie. So I rated that one a 1.3 out of 10. Let's move on to the next one. So this one is a little bit better than all the rest. It's an Arc 2x1 PvP base design. This thing, it honestly is really well built. So this player is much more experienced. As you can see, they're double layering, they're placing large bear traps. They know the strategy with the smithy so that you can, double up the smithy. And also just the way that they're placing everything, very strategic, very compact, so this player knows what they're doing. And so far, I would definitely recommend checking this out, because when an experienced player is building a base, they know what they're doing and they are very credible. So make sure you guys go check this one out. By the way, I'm going to have all the links down in the description to every single one of these if you guys want to check them out. But as you can see, they're placing down like mortar and pestles, everything really compact. And they even show you exactly what you need for each stage when you're building. So as you can see right now, they're building a fabricator, they're making it a little bit taller, and it is still very compact, because they can fit a fabricator inside of here, and they're even like dropping down a vault into the base so that you guys can have a lot of vault storage, which is really good, I guess. But as you can see, this is the base design. You have a vault, you have a fabricator, you have literally everything. And this was built a while ago though, because the vault is much bigger than it is now. But I do highly recommend this base design, so if you guys want, go check this out in the description. 6.7 out of 10. I know it wasn't like a 10 out of 10 or anything insane, but it is only a simple design. Now, solo 2x2 base design. So let's see this one. I believe this one was okay, so this one, it's inside of a cave. I'm pretty sure it's inside of a cave, so it's gonna take a lot of damage. And the base design, it's good, but it's not as compact as the last one. So I'm not really sure when this would be too practical, because you're trying to fit like all these different things in here, but the person who made this didn't really do a good job at making sure that everything was as compact as it could be. Just like in the last base design that we just saw, they were placing beds and mortar and pestles like inside of each other, so that they take up every single inch of space that they can. So this base design, it is very good because it's inside of a cave, because it has a lot of defense, natural barriers and stuff, but at the expense of 6 times damage because it's inside of a cave. They did double up the smithies, and they are placing down a lot of things inside this little location, but at the end of the day, if you guys go and check out the video, they didn't really place down many good turret placements or anything like that. It just wasn't that good. So I did rate this one fairly low, as you're about to see, but you know, if you do want to build this as like a good starter base for a cave, you could definitely go for this and then build off of it. So this isn't like a high-end like end game base, but it is a good starter base if you're trying to build up in a cave. Therefore, I rated this 3.5 out of 10. So now we're going to move on to the next one here, which is hopefully a little bit better, and it is the Arc PvP base designs, another 3x3. So this one, I was actually really impressed at how compact they made this base. So I love compact bases, if you guys didn't know that already. You save so much more space, you're using every inch to your advantage, and as you can see, they're placing down like double layers, they're doing all these thatch things just to make sure that they can drop down the vaults into other things so that they have as much storage as possible. They're also placing down the electrical wires in smart strategic places, and they're even covering up the wires, doubling the foundations, which is really good. And I believe they're even going to double the walls as well, maybe even triple the walls, which is really useful in PvP, because if you didn't know already, when you double walls, it is much harder to get in. They also lowered down the generator there, as you just saw, and they're pretty much making every single inch of this base as freaking packed as possible. They're even double layering the doors. They put like a little I guess extra space for you to try to break through if you're trying to break through the doors, because doors are easier to break through. And they're double layering the whole entire thing. So this thing is a really good like solo base design. This is definitely not an alpha base design, but it is good for solo. But when it comes to placing down all the turrets and stuff and placing down defenses themselves, this one, it didn't really do too well. All they did was place some plants on top, nothing really strategic. Like, they just placed it in the corners, and that was the whole video. They didn't even like finish making the plants or even put up turrets or anything like that on the outside. Therefore, I gave this a 5.7. The inside was amazing, but the defenses weren't that good. So now we're going to check out an 8x8 base design by the Outcasts. So the Outcasts, they make a few really good base designs. I believe they're even still uploading base designs to this day. But this thing, it is huge. This is like alpha base material. Like, this is a huge tribe base. Obviously, there's not going to be a solo player making a base that is an 8x8. This thing is huge. So what they did here, I even made a video going over this before in the past, but this base design is really good because you have different towers on the outside. Just how the outer shell was made is very strategic. They even placed down the gates on the outside so that you can place down turrets on top of them. And they put everything in very strategic places. Obviously, it's a very expensive base to build, but they have so many different places for you to place down turrets that literally every angle is going to be protected. And the way that they made these towers, which I've never really seen built in a base before, it was really unique, and it gave the base just a different type of feel to it, I guess. The only thing I didn't really like about this base was on the inside, when they were placing down the electrical cables. As you can see, they didn't really like hide it that well. But when they came to placing down all the turrets, you know, they placed one on each corner, and I believe there was a 100 turret limit when they were making this, so they made it very good for the 100 turret limit. And this looks like a base that you could place like on top of a large pillar or something like that, so that it's really high up and only really birds can get to it. Because if a bird is coming at this thing, oh my god, it's so intimidating. Look at that. That is just scary to go and try to raid. They could place down more turrets, honestly. I don't think they had the 100 turret limit, but therefore I gave it a 7.2 out of 10. Now we're going to move on to the next one here, the best lava cave base design or something like that. So this, they made it in a cave, so you know, it's good because it's hard to get in there and stuff, and it's hard to raid cave bases because there's only like one entrance, but at the same time, it's at the expense of 6 times damage. So everything that they're placing, it is so much easier to break. Like, it's, oh god. So that's why I don't like cave bases, because it's 6 times damage. But what they did here, they have like an outer defense wall where they're placing down large bear traps so that if someone comes in with a giga or just anything big really, it gets stuck. They're also placing down a lot of these gates, and this strategy is kind of just like to hold off all the gigas and the brontos and whatever creature is trying to attack your base while all the turrets are shooting at it. That's the reason for making like all the spikes and the gates and stuff, but that outer defense wall is very expensive. So what they're doing here, they're placing down just like turret towers to shoot at all the teams that try to break through that outer defense wall. And I didn't really see this player make a base. Like, they didn't make a base itself. All they made were defenses to keep them out of the cave. And if you are making all these defenses, it is going to be much easier to, you know, defend the base, so you won't really have to make as well defended base itself, you know, because you're already going to have all these defenses like kind of protecting it. But as you can see, they place down tree platforms like all over this cave, and therefore I would give it a 6.8 because it's not insane, but it's not bad, you know. So now we're going to move on to the last one of the list. This one, it's just so well built. Like, oh my god, this guy, he's probably one of the best builders that I've ever seen. Not only is it just appealing to the eye, but it's just a really good base design. So he made this as an octagon base. So I've never really seen an octagon base before, but let me tell you, it is awesome. There's no dino storage inside, or at least dino storage for big tames at least, but there's multiple generators, there's tech, the whole thing is tech, and it's just really, really good. You know, you got places to shoot out. This guy is just so good at making base designs. Therefore, I give it an 8.9 out of 10. So you guys can go check that out if you want. And like I said, every single link to all these videos is down in the description, so make sure you go check them out if you want to build any of those bases. So those were all of the base designs I could find, the worst versus the best. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video, hopefully soon. Peace.